Quantum manifestation works so seamlessly that most people can't fully accept it. It goes against everything we've been taught. From an early age, we're raised in a culture that worships hard work. We're told that results only come to those who grind, hustle, and sacrifice. That success must be earned. Love must be chased. Healing must be fought for. And so we step into life ready for struggle. But quantum physics offers a completely different reality, one that doesn't demand struggle at all. Instead, it asks for stillness, clarity, and alignment. Here's the paradox. The easier something truly is, the more the mind resists it. Why? Because the ego has been trained to measure its worth through difficulty. If it's too easy, it must not be real. That's why when we encounter quantum manifestation, which operates through effortless alignment instead of force, we subconsciously reject it. We complicate it. We try to fix it. We turn it into a method, a ritual, a checklist. We bury it under rules and routines, forgetting that the universe isn't waiting for your to-do list. It's responding to your vibration. You've probably heard, if you want it badly enough, work harder. But quantum manifestation doesn't operate through wanting. It works through knowing. And the moment you believe something must require effort is the moment you push it away. The universe isn't testing your strength, it's matching your frequency. The more tangled your inner world, filled with doubts, contradictions, and old stories, the more fragmented the signal you send. And a fragmented signal can't create a clear reality. Let's ground this in science. In quantum mechanics, there's a principle called coherence. It's when particles are in a unified, harmonious state of moving in sync, amplifying each other's impact. That's what makes quantum effects so powerful. When particles are aligned, even the smallest force can create massive change. Your consciousness works the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in coherence, you become a strong quantum signal, one capable of influencing reality without pushing, forcing, or manipulating. But coherence doesn't come from effort. It comes from clarity. And clarity only arises when you release the clutter, the doubt, the mental noise, and the unconscious resistance to ease. That resistance, by the way, isn't your fault. It's been conditioned into you for years. You were taught that worth comes from earning, that safety comes from control, and that outcomes come from effort. Yet if you look back, the most miraculous moments in your life probably happened when you weren't trying at all. You weren't trying when you met someone who changed your life. You weren't trying when you stumbled into the perfect job. The opportunity in those moments, you were open. You were receptive. You were in resonance with something higher. And because of that, the field responded. That's not coincidence. That's quantum alignment, and it's trying to happen for you right now. But first, you have to let go of the belief that struggle is the only way. Let's be clear. This isn't about avoiding action. It's about aligning before you act. It's about doing less with your hands and more with your energy. Manifestation isn't about constant movement. It's about magnetism. You don't attract what you work the hardest for. You attract what you embody. And embodiment only happens when you allow yourself to be what you seek, without striving, without chasing. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What if it's supposed to be easy? What if the simplicity of quantum manifestation isn't some loophole, but the actual way the universe works? What if your refusal to believe in ease is the only thing keeping your breakthrough away? Stay with me, because in this video, we're going even deeper into how this invisible resistance to simplicity is formed and how you can finally dissolve it. Not by working harder, but by surrendering to the power of your aligned state. This isn't just a mindset shift, it's a vibrational shift. And it begins now. Let's make something very clear. Simplicity in the quantum field is not the same as passivity. It's not laziness. It's not spiritual bypassing. And it's definitely not sitting around waiting for magic to fix your life. Simplicity is clarity. It's energetic precision. And most importantly, it's the natural byproduct of deep alignment with the frequency of what you desire. In the language of quantum mechanics, simplicity is coherence. And coherence is the signature of all-powerful manifestation. In classical physics, we're taught that force produces the results. Push harder, move faster, apply more pressure. That's how we've been trained to survive. But in the quantum world, energy follows a very different law. It flows through the path of least resistance. Think about that. Energy doesn't choose the hardest route. It doesn't reward struggle. It finds the opening and moves with elegance, speed, and fluidity. This means that in the quantum field, trying harder often creates resistance, but relaxing into alignment opens the way. Now ask yourself, how often do you complicate your desires? You visualize what you want, and within seconds your mind swarms with doubts. How will this happen? What if I'm not ready? What if it takes too long? That's not clarity, that's static. That's noise in the signal. And what does the quantum field respond to? Frequency. And frequency can't be chaotic. It must be coherent. Simplicity isn't the absence of thought. It's the mastery of thought. It's the moment you stop asking whether your desire is possible and start living from the place where it already is. Coherence, as explained in quantum physics, is when every part of a system is in perfect harmony, the same frequency, the same rhythm, the same intention. No contradictions, no conflict. When your thoughts, emotions, and expectations are vibrating in unity, your entire being becomes a magnetic beacon, and the universe has no choice but to reflect that signal back to you. But most people are incoherent. They say one thing, feel another, and expect something entirely different. That's not alignment, that's fragmentation. This is why simplicity is so powerful. It eliminates contradiction. When you simplify your manifestation process, you remove the clutter. You stop needing to understand every step. You stop needing to prove your worth. You stop analyzing the how and focus completely on the what and the who. What do I choose? And who do I need to become to match that reality? That's it. Everything else is noise. And noise keeps you vibrating in confusion, which keeps your desires at a distance. Let's use an example. Imagine tuning an old radio. You turn the dial slowly, hearing nothing but static. A voice flickers in and out. Then suddenly, clarity. The music comes through loud and pure. That's what happens when your inner state reaches coherence. That's what simplicity feels like. The station was always there. You just had to tune in. In quantum manifestation, the station is your desired reality, and the dial is your vibration. But simplicity requires trust. It requires letting go of your addiction to control. You don't have to control every detail. You just need to align your signal. Because here's the truth. Most of your desires are already trying to reach you. They're already waiting, vibrating, echoing in the field. But your complexity, your urge to force, overthink, and micromanage creates resistance. It's like building a wall between you and what's already yours. Simplicity is not weakness, it's mastery. So how do you embody this kind of simplicity? Start with stillness. You give yourself permission to stop chasing. You allow your nervous system to feel safe, without constant motion. Then you choose the version of yourself who already has what you desire, not as a fantasy, but as your identity. You speak as them. You walk as them. You make decisions from their frequency. You become that version, fully and the universe, bound by the laws of quantum resonance, must respond. Remember, complexity is a symptom of doubt. Simplicity is a sign of trust. The more you believe it has to be hard, the more you'll create a hard path. But when you realize that energy flows where alignment goes, you stop doing more and start being more. You align. You receive. And you finally see the universe was never holding anything back. It was simply waiting for your signal to become clear. Let's continue this journey. Because next, I'm going to show you how your own mind be conditioned by survivalist and fear is creating friction that blocks your natural ability to manifest, and how a small internal shift can unlock your greatest expansion. This is more than a mindset. This is quantum simplicity in action. In quantum mechanics, there's a concept that completely redefines how we understand manifestation: coherence. Coherence is when multiple elements, particles, waves, or systems come into perfect alignment, functioning not as separate fragments, but as one harmonious whole. When coherence is achieved, energy becomes focused, powerful, and directed. It doesn't scatter. It doesn't get lost in the noise. It creates outcomes that are consistent, reliable, and potent. And this, at its core, is what makes manifestation effortless. Not because you're sitting back doing nothing, but because your energy is finally unified. Let's zoom in for a moment. Imagine particles in a chaotic system, each vibrating in its own direction, colliding with others, dispersing energy. That's what an incoherent system looks like: noisy, inefficient, unfocused. Now imagine those same particles suddenly synchronizing, moving in harmony, aligning with a shared rhythm. What happens? The energy intensifies. The system begins to self-organize. The outcome becomes not only predictable, but powerful. This is exactly what happens inside your consciousness when you achieve inner coherence. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your body vibrate as one. Here's the challenge. Most people are incoherent. They think they want something: wealth, love, peace, but their emotions tell a different story: fear, doubt, scarcity. And their actions follow that emotional signature. They say, "I believe in abundance," yet panic over bills. They say, "I trust the universe," yet obsessively check their manifestations, desperate for proof. This is not alignment. This is energetic conflict. And the quantum field, which operates on resonance, not language, mirrors that incoherence perfectly. It doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you are. Here's the game-changing insight. Your manifestation isn't blocked because you're not doing enough. It's blocked because your signal is fragmented. You're sending mixed frequencies into a field that only reflects back coherence. And so your energy says, I want, but I don't believe. I hope, but I don't feel worthy. I ask, but I don't allow. That's why manifestation feels hard, because incoherence is a noisy signal. It weakens your vibrational field and dilutes your ability to collapse a specific outcome. But when you simplify, when you clean up the noise, everything shifts. Simplicity in this context means agreement. It means choosing one frequency and holding it. It means your inner world stops debating with itself. Your thoughts become clear. Your emotions settle. Your body stops living in survival mode. And this trifecta, mind, heart, body, becomes a coherent field. That's when the quantum responds. Not slowly. Not someday, but immediately, because your reality is no longer resisting itself. This is the science behind why less is truly more. Not because you're doing fewer things, but because every movement of your energy is precise. You're no longer taking 5 steps forward and 4 steps back. You're no longer leaking energy into mental loops, emotional turbulence, or physical burnout. Your life becomes elegant, efficient, aligned. You stop trying to manifest and start being the manifestation. And the moment you embody it fully, the quantum field mirrors that embodiment with speed and precision. Let's take it deeper. In neuroscience, coherence also applies to brainwave states. When your brain is stuck in high beta, stress, overthinking, survival, your brainwaves scatter. But when you drop into alpha or theta, relaxation, visualization, intuition, your brainwaves synchronize. Research shows that this synchronization enhances your ability to influence the subconscious mind, which is the gateway to the quantum. In other words, coherence isn't just a spiritual idea, it's a measurable neurological state. And here's where the science meets the spiritual truth. When you stop over-efforting and start aligning, your body gets the message that you're safe. Your nervous system regulates. Your heart rate steadies. Cortisol drops. Your immune system strengthens. Your intuition sharpens. You enter a physiological state of allowing. And in that state, the state of coherence, you become a portal for quantum creation. You're no longer forcing your future. You're allowing your timeline to catch up with the person you've already become. Now you can see, simplicity isn't about doing less and waiting for magic. It's about stepping into energetic congruence. It's about becoming a clear, consistent signal that the quantum cannot ignore. When your entire being says yes to one timeline, you collapse it. Not in the future, but now. Because the quantum field is not bound by time. It responds to vibration. And your vibration becomes law the moment it becomes coherent. In the next part of our journey, I'll show you how to apply this practically, not with force, but with frequency. You'll learn how to access the specific emotional and mental states that generate coherence in real time, and how to use them as levers to shift your entire reality. Stay close. This is where simplicity becomes power. Let me give you something rare in the world of manifestation advice: simplicity that actually works. Not a wishful idea, not a motivational slogan, but a structure grounded in quantum principles and proven in real life. If there's one thing we've learned so far, it's this: complexity is not power, clarity is. So in this part, I want to give you a 3-step alignment protocol. Not a rigid method to follow, but an energetic upgrade you can embody every single day. These shifts will recalibrate your relationship with desire, time, trust. And that recalibration is what takes manifestation from theory into your physical timeline. The first shift: choose clarity over control. Sounds simple, but don't underestimate it. Most people are addicted to control, especially spiritual seekers. They say they trust the universe, but what they're really doing is micromanaging the timeline. What should I do next? Is this the right sign? Maybe I should visualize again. That energy feels like chaos to the quantum field. It feels like noise. It feels like contradiction. But when you're clear on what you want, and more importantly, why you want it, you emit a clean magnetic signal. The quantum doesn't require constant intervention. It requires a coherent request. So once you've asked, once you've chosen, stop tinkering. Stop rewriting. Stop controlling. Let it be. The second shift: drop the timeline. If you've ever said, "I need this by next week," congratulations, you just stepped out of the quantum field. Because the quantum doesn't operate on deadlines, operates on frequencies. And that frequency, ironically, is timeless. Think about it. When you're truly aligned with something, do you feel desperate to force its arrival? No, you trust it's coming. You know it's yours. Urgency is the energy of lack disguised as strategy. It creates pressure, stress, and a narrowing of your perception, all of which push your desired reality further away. But when you detach from when and focus on who you're becoming in the process, you collapse time itself. Because from the quantum's perspective, readiness is the only condition for manifestation. And readiness has nothing to do with dates. It has everything to do with coherence. The third shift, and perhaps the most radical of all, trust your first alignment. That initial moment when you felt the desire, when something lit up in your chest and you said, yes, that was enough. That was the energetic request. The field received it. The code was sent. But what do most people do? They repeat it over and over. They journal it, chant it, visualize it daily, not because they're aligned, but because they're afraid. Afraid it didn't work. Afraid it's not enough. Here's the paradox. Every time you repeat what was already sent, you're telling the field you don't trust it. That lack of trust downgrades your signal. It's like sending a radio transmission and then calling every 5 minutes to ask, "Did you get it? Are you sure?" That's not coherence, that's resistance. So what if just for today, you allowed it to be easy? What if you stopped doing rituals out of fear and started resting in the vibration of certainty? Because quantum simplicity isn't laziness, it's elegance. It's energetic mastery. The more you can return to your first alignment, the original, undiluted signal, the more powerfully it builds. You don't create momentum through effort. You generate momentum through purity of frequency. And yes, this goes against almost everything we've been taught. We've been programmed to believe repetition equals commitment. That practice makes perfect. That if we don't keep asking, the universe might forget. But in the quantum model of reality, asking once from a place of aligned certainty is more powerful than asking 100 times from a place of doubt. This isn't blind faith, it's quantum physics. The observer collapses the outcome based on the state of observation. And when that observation is pure, aligned, and undisturbed, reality responds instantly. So let's break this loop today. Let's step out of complexity and into ease. If any of this resonates, not just as an idea, but as a feeling in your body, declare it right now. I allow it to be easy. This is not a casual affirmation. This is a command, a vibrational choice, a moment of coherence that reprograms your field. When you do this, when you truly surrender the need to manage the process, you stop matching the energy of effort and start emitting the frequency of trust. You embody a truth. The quantum has been waiting for you. To remember, you don't manifest by forcing. You manifest by becoming. Here's the paradox most people never see. The timeline you're trying to reach has already been chosen. Not because of fate or destiny, but because the moment you desired it. It began existing in the quantum field as a real tangible. Quantum manifestation isn't about creating from scratch. It's about tuning in. The frequency is already ready broadcasting. You're not inventing it. You're matching it. You're matching it. Dios. And here's where it gets fascinating. You've already tuned into that reality before, probably multiple times. You've had flashes of clarity, gut instincts, synchronicities that felt too perfect to be random. Those moments weren't accidents. They were quantum alignments. The problem is the moment your mind whispered, "This is too easy," you tuned out. You snapped back into old programming. You dismissed the flow as coincidence. And the field, like a mirror, simply reflected your uncertainty back to you. Sympathy is not the enemy, it's the doorway. The mind craves process. The quantum craves permission. The universe doesn't need you to understand every mechanism. It only needs your coherence. When you truly allow things to feel easy, light, and natural, you're not lowering your standards or avoiding growth. You're stepping into the vibrational bandwidth where your higher self already lives. From there, alignment becomes effortless. Let's make this clear. You're not chasing your future, you're remembering it. You're realigning with a version of yourself who already made the decision, already experienced the breakthrough, already integrated the lesson. That's what shifting timelines really means, not forcing a new outcome into existence, but harmonizing your energy with what's already true. This isn't spiritual fantasy, it's quantum reality. All timelines exist simultaneously. You don't have to build the one you want. You just have to stop resisting it. And what is resistance really? It's the story that says to us, "This is too good to be true." That's the voice of programming. That's the echo of a world that told you worth is earned through struggle. But here's the truth. Your worth was never in question. The moment you release the need to suffer, you step into the timeline that reflects your true power. Every time you surrender to simplicity, every time you say, "I'm allowed to receive with ease," you rise closer to the vibration of your higher self. That version of you doesn't hustle. It doesn't beg the universe. It doesn't doubt its alignment. It simply exists in frequency, in flow, in certainty. In that state, manifestation becomes natural. You don't try. You don't push. You become. This is the real secret behind quantum manifestation. It's not a magic trick. It's not manipulation. It's remembrance. When you say yes to simplicity, you say yes to that version of you. And when your vibration says yes, the universe echoes it instantly. So pause for a moment. Feel this in your body. The path you're on isn't new. It's remembered. You're not lost. You're remembering the coordinates of your soul's frequency. You're not starting from scratch. You're aligning with what's already yours. This is how you break the loop, not by doing more, but by becoming quieter, clearer, truer. If you feel something clicking inside right now, take a breath. Let that breath be your signal. Your quantum permission slip to stop fighting and start flowing. And if you're ready to lock this in, declare it. Remember my timeline. Because that's all this truly is, not learning, not chasing, just remembering. And the more you remember, the more the universe organizes itself around your frequency. You'll see the signs. You'll feel the shift. And eventually, you'll stop wondering when it will happen, because you'll realize it already has. Stay with me, because next we're exploring the final step that ties everything together, where simplicity turns into power, and power becomes your natural state of being. By now you might already feel it, not as an idea, but as a shift in your body, your breath, your field. That quiet click inside that says, yes, this is the way. That's not a coincidence. That's vibrational confirmation. Because quantum manifestation doesn't strike like lightning. It whispers through alignment. It arrives as recognition, as remembering. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. You were drawn here by frequency. Something inside you. Long before your conscious mind already knew it was time. Time to stop forcing. Time to stop chasing. Time to stop believing that struggle is the prerequisite for receiving. The universe has never required that of you. It only required your coherence, your clarity, your willingness to let it be simple. And that's the final shift, to stop intellectualizing manifestation and start being the frequency of it. Not as something you turn on when you're feeling spiritual, but as your baseline. Your way of being. Your default vibration. Let this be your anchoring truth. I allow it to be easy. Say it again. Let your body soften into it. This isn't laziness. This isn't avoidance. This is quantum intelligence. Nature works this way. A tree doesn't force itself to grow. A wave doesn't question its direction. The universe expands not by pushing, but by being in harmony with itself. And you are part of that same intelligence. You just forgot. But now, you remember. If this message stirred something inside you, if it felt like more than words, if it activated you, then I had something to deepen and stabilize this frequency in your life. It's a guidebook I wrote for moments like this, not for people who want more information, but for those ready for transformation. It's called Awaken Your Quantum Power. Inside, you'll find 7 vibrational principles to align your mind, body, and field into coherence so you can stop trying and start receiving. You'll learn how to activate your natural magnetic field. Hold the signal of your higher self and collapse timelines with less effort and more clarity. If today's message shifted something in you, this guidebook is your next step. You'll find the link in the pinned comment below. Because here's the truth. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not late. Everything you've asked for is already in motion, not because you forced it, but because you're finally matching it. The more you relax into this alignment, the faster life reflects it back. You're no longer chasing, you're aligning. And that shift, that's what changes everything. So as we close, take one last breath with me. Inhale gently, exhale, and let go. You don't need to control. You don't need to repeat. You don't need to struggle. You just need to become. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay light, stay aligned, and remember, you were never meant to struggle to receive. You were meant to resonate and allow.